Sir, in which plane do we see the sound and light? What is the form of communication with the light and sound? What is inside the light?
Light and sound are physical experiences. We see light, all bulbs lit up here. We go out, the sun is shining, there's light. These are physical experiences of light. Sound, also physical experience. Some sound is struck, the sound waves travel. They hit our eardrum. Eardrum carries the system to the brain. Brain says, yes, it is sound. We hear the sound. These are physical phenomena. But when we say in meditation we go within, we see a different light, not this light. In fact, a friend of mine who got initiated with great intense desire, he put himself under a blanket to meditate. So his wife couldn't see what he was doing. He put himself blanket, he saw intense light. He took off the blanket to see where it's coming from. The light disappeared. Put the blanket back, the light came. He said, what is going on? Such a bright light. He closed his eyes with his hands under the blanket as much as he can. The light became bigger. He was frightened where the light has come from when there was no light. So he told me this experience. And I said, there is more light inside than outside. You just saw just a little stray streak of the light that is coming from your own self. Your own soul is producing that much light, much more than existing outside. This light percolates down and can come when your attention is behind the eyes, at the eye center. Light automatically comes because you are the light. Your own self is lit up. And that light keeps on changing in its intensity. You can see that light, feel that light, and be that light. This you can't do here. If I want to become this light, I can't. I am just a very dense physical body. I can't become light. Inside you can. Very easily. Be the light because you are the light. Therefore, inside light is your radiance of your own self that comes. What about sound? It's not the outside sound, which the eardrums hear. The inner sound you hear with your soul. You hear with your true self, not through your mind. The mind speaks. The mind can make sound. That mind can create words. The mind can repeat words. The mind is the speaker inside our consciousness. Soul is the listener. You listen with your soul. When you listen to sound with your soul, it's the same power that's the light. And once you transcend the causal plane, light and sound becomes one. You can call it light, you can call it sound. It's just a power that is creating the experience of a self. Or it is the emanation, radiance of the soul. It looks like light and sound. So that is why when you want to see inner light and sound, you can start seeing it very early. You can start having glimpses of it, little streaks of it, even the beginning of your meditation. And as you concentrate more and more comes. And at the end, when you are no longer connected with these eyes, no longer feel connected with these ears, and you are concentrated on one point, like the eye, the third eye, single eye, one power to see, not spread out. You reach there, the whole thing gets filled up with light, including your whole body and your whole world. I read in the Bible, if thy eye be single, thy whole body shall be filled with light. At that time, nobody understands how can it be filled with light. Experience it, it will be filled with light. Not only the body, everything around the body also. This is If your eye is single, that means you are no longer aware of the two eyes of the body. Your attention has gone that deep into. It's all matter of concentration of attention and seeing these. What is the form of communication with light and sound? The communication at this stage is put the switch on. It comes on. We're communicating with light. Ask Mark to put the volume up. We're communicating with sound. This is a mechanical communication with light and sound. They are not beings. They are not people that we communicate. Inside, they are like people. Inside, we can communicate with light. One light communicating with another light. Therefore, at some point, the light communicates. How do they communicate? The same way like we communicate sometimes in this world through what is called telepathy. That means we think of something, the other person knows what we are thinking. Did you know this telepathic communication takes place in our lives almost all the time without our knowing it? We are thinking some things, people are catching our thoughts. And we don't know because we don't even know it exists. Some people know they exist and they deliberately channel the telepathic communication to a particular person. And when they think, the other person gets the same thought. It's a communication, telepathic communication. But then, they can't sometimes do it voluntarily, and also they think in a particular language. They don't realize that if you want to communicate a thought in words in your head to a friend who's in Germany, doesn't know your language, he or she will understand it in German. Did you ever know that? The telepathy does not make use of the language we speak. It uses the meanings of language that we are putting into words. And the meaning is transferred, not the words. In the astral plane, that's the most normal form of communication. We communicate with thoughts. And no matter what language you know here, the only language there is the meaning of language, the meaning of what you're trying to say. They get transmitted. You communicate between light with that method of telepathic communication. And how do we communicate? The single light that we are with the total light, you merge in it and become one. Final communication. Final communication is when the light of a soul, by communicating through love and devotion of the total, becomes the total, becomes the same. Final communication. What is inside the light? The soul. The inner light is emanation from the soul. Inside the light is the soul.